Gamer lifestyle, so games is what I'm playing. Game on that 6-4, so you know I stay gaming. Game hop on live, then you know I start raping. Game wake up in the morning, turn on the PlayStation. Game playing till my game start breaking. Game I'm a damn nerd, so boy stop hating. Game I'm still gaming. Game she's still gaming. Game y'all still gaming, so games is what we playing. Don't test me, yeah, you know I'm going pro. You say you play football, I play Halo. I'm gaming all night, and you know I'm about to play. I bought a new game, so I'm skipping class today.
How's it going, YouTube? Classic Game Freak here, and this is going to be the first of a series of videos I'm going to do called the request video. Plain and simple, somebody requests I make a video on something, I'm going to do it. This one is going to be the first part of actually two videos. I was asked to showcase my Sega Genesis games and my Super Nintendo games. Now, I'm looking at a huge stack of Sega Genesis games, both boxed and unboxed, so I think I'm gonna have to cut this down to two pieces. But I've had a request for a Little Big Planet Vita review. I've had a request for a Monster Hunter review, or even just gameplay, so I'm going to get to that. I actually have some footage recorded on that. Hopefully I can get around to that soon. So I'm going to get right into this because I was asked to kind of share some memories with these, and like I said, I've got a lot of games to go over. I think there's about nearly 40 games on the Sega Genesis here. Some of them I do have memories for, others were just purchases, just to buy them. So let's get to it. Okay, first off, I'm going to just show the games that I really don't have any memories with, that I never really played beyond having them now in my collection. First off is Tasmania. I never played this one until I bought it in a lot to get my Sega Genesis. So kind of a weird game. Haven't played it all that much. This one's actually a pretty neat puzzler. I had heard a lot about it when it first came out and everything, but I just never got around to playing it, and that was Zoop. I can't really say much about it. Now, if it was Zoom, that game was crazy. That game was good. NFL 95, I wasn't big into sports back in the day, so I don't even think I popped that one into my Sega, to be quite honest. And then my wife wanted this one, and it was Jeopardy on the Sega, so yeah, just never really got into those. So next one, even though there is no label, none whatsoever, this is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. My cousins and I back in California played the crap out of this game. Wasn't this exact copy, but it's still good. I actually still like popping this into the Sega and playing it. This game, Flashback, yeah. This game had such an interesting narrative. It's a live or they live kind of storyline. This monocle detects aliens living among us, and Stu ends up getting his memory wiped. Obviously doesn't know why, but he's got to get his memory back, and then he finds out there's this plot to take over Earth. These aliens want to take over Earth, and it leads you through some really interesting locales. Landstalker. This is an awesome RPG. It's kind of an isometric view RPG. I had bought this way back when I lived in California, and it's still good to this day. I remember the music. I never beat it, unfortunately. That is one of my greatest regrets, and I'm glad I have this simply because I am going to beat this game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. Not much to say about it. I hadn't really played it on the Sega before I bought it a few months ago. Good game. Well, on the Genesis, it's okay. Super Nintendo was definitely better. Aladdin, that also came with the first bundle I got for the Sega Genesis. It's okay. It's a neat platformer game. The animation's real crisp, especially for a Sega game. Even though I was never ever a big fan of Disney, this game was actually really kind of fun and addicting. Shining in the Darkness, that was a RPG game that I really didn't play all that much of, and when Shining Force came out, I thought it was a sequel to it. Shining Force was completely different than this, even though I heard that they do tie together. I do actually see Low and Tao from Shining Force on the cover. At least I think that's them. Over here, it kind of looks like him, Lo and Tao, because he's got the... It looks like he has nunchucks, and then she's using magic, so that makes sense. So maybe. I don't remember. I need to pop that in and find out. Road Rash 2. The Road Rash series, just play them. I played so much on the Sega CD. The music was great. You had some Soundgarden on there. You had a band called Paw who sang a song about Jesse, which I believe was about his dog. I don't know. Hard to explain. Sonic Spinball. You know, this game I had on the Game Gear, and I played it on a trip from Washington, northwestern Washington State, down to north of Phoenix, Arizona. It took 4 days to get there, and the whole time I was playing that on the Game Gear. On the Sega, I know it's funner, but I have the memories of the Sega Genesis, or the Sega Game Gear. Comic Zone? Comic book. Comic book game. You go from panel to panel fighting creatures of your own creation, and it's really hard. It is a very difficult game. I can't get through even like level 3. Maybe I need to just get a Game Genie or something like that for it. I don't know. Desert Strike, Return of the Gulf. These strike games were actually really fun. This was the first one, so it was kind of bland to me, but Urban Strike and Jungle Strike were way better. I loved Urban Strike. I remember my uncle letting me borrow this and Star Fox back in the day. I played so much of this, though. Having to scavenge for fuel and weapons and everything, that was difficult. NBA Jam. Anybody who's a gamer knows what NBA Jam is, and it was by the same developers as like Mortal Kombat and so on. You could freaking play as Raiden and Sub-Zero and so on as a basketball player. That was really cool. I remember playing it in the arcade, saving my initials, putting in my code, and having my stats all unlocked. That was awesome. You can do that with this, but unfortunately this cartridge doesn't hold on to the memory. So I'm going to have to open it and change the battery, I guess. Good game still to this day. Cyborg Justice. This one's actually a very cheap one. This game, it continues on and on and on and on and on. But it was real neat because you could build your cyborg at the beginning. Legs, torso, arm. What was great is the arm could be like a grinder or a saw blade, and you can actually saw off the other cyborg's arms. And then you could, if you wanted a different arm, you could literally pull the arm off the other cyborg and pop it onto your own cyborg, which is really cool. Or you could pick up the torso from the other cyborgs and use it as energy on yourself. You could actually hang onto it over your head and absorb it, or just throw it and make it explode. Kind of violent. Not many memories on this one. Vector Man. When I lived in California, my cousins had gotten it, and it was like, ooh, hey, 3D, but it was all sort of like a, hey, you know, recycle, or the Earth is going to turn into a mess. You know, that it was that type of game. There was that eco-friendly theme to it. LHX Attack Chopper. I had this on the Tandy 1000 back in the day, and I needed it on the Sega Genesis. This game is a helicopter flight simulator, and I mean, you can shoot freaking camels in this game, okay? You can target and kill camels. Of course, they kind of blow up into polygons, but you can kill camels. Dude, really? Of course, there's guys on the ground with machine guns you can kill and everything. And this game gets hard as balls, okay? This game gets difficult. And if you die, you die. There's no going back. Your character gets deleted. Boom. Well, actually, on the Sega, there was a passcode option, and you could go use a passcode. On the computer, though, you were gone. Permadeath. Next game, General Chaos. This game was so fun. You had 4 soldiers per team, and each of them had different classes: machine guns, commandos, flamethrower grenadiers, or grenadiers. And I mean, you had to control them by using an icon, using a pointer on the screen. And you know, they could get into rumbles, and you'd have to control the punches and kicks and everything. It's actually a very comical game. If you've never played it, it's worth your time. This was one of my favorites back in the day. Speaking of permadeath, this game I also played on the PC back in the day. That's Starflight. And on the Sega Genesis, it's something completely different. On the PC version, you would have to create a copied floppy disk, and I'm talking the 5 1/4 discs, the big floppy discs that were actually floppy. You'd have to copy the whole game on that, and it would create your character. If you died in the game, it made the files corrupt, permadeath. You were done, dead. So this one's a little bit more lenient. They don't like the permadeath much these days, but this game was a great exploration game, and I'm actually thinking of doing a Let's Play on this, because it's so Star Trek-ish, but there's a lot to it. Landing on planets, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of planets to land on and everything. Great game. One of my favorites, Mutant League Football. I've shown this in a Let's Play. This is my favorite football game of all time. I just love it. There's so much to it. I don't even want to go into it because it's already running 11 minutes long. Good game, just hilarious. It still to this day makes me laugh. On to the I actually got a couple more cartridges. Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter 2. Self-explanatory. We all played it in the arcade. There's a reason you must own at least one copy in any given collection. That's why I gave Scuba Diver Picker my copy of what was it? Street Fighter 2 Turbo, I believe. I don't remember. And then Pit Fighter. It was at my local 7-Eleven. There's something about the game. It's kind of weird. It's a weird fighter, but it's fun at the same time, and it will make you run through quarters if you're playing it on the arcade. Next game, this was my first Sega game ever, along with Golden Axe 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a weird fighting game. I don't recommend it, but I have it in my collection for that nostalgic purpose, and that's Fighting Masters. Weird game, and very difficult as you get onto it. It was more about grappling your enemy and then doing a special attack on them. You could punch and kick at them, of course, but it was all about grabbing and then doing a special attack. Like this guy here, Grinder, he would grab you and then do this break dance and hit you with his legs. So it's very weird. Eternal Champions. I don't remember this one being ultra violent, but the one on the Sega CD was super violent. The kills were worse than the fatalities in Mortal Kombat back in the day. Chikan, the Forever Man. Not much to say about this. I believe it came from a comic book. And hard as balls. Hard game. Never beat it. Very, very difficult. Speaking of balls, Balls 3D. It's another fighting game. 3D. The characters are created by a bunch of little balls. Yeah, if you can kind of see there. I don't know if it's going to focus for me, but yeah. Horrible game. Arch Rivals. That's a great basketball game. You could actually pants other characters, punch them in the face, obviously, you know, in order to get the leg up. Very fun game. Shinobi, Return of the Ninja Master. One of my favorites on the Sega Genesis. And I don't know, yeah, complete, yeah, awesome. I love having the complete one, especially of Shinobi. This one was my favorite of all three of the Shinobi games on the Sega Genesis. Good music, good action. I played it for hours back in the day. Revolution X, Aerosmith selling out. On the Sega Genesis, it's just absolutely horrible, and I actually have this one complete in box too. Horrible game. The only reason I bought this copy was because it was complete in box, and it was like $2. So there's that. Mortal Kombat. Come on, you know that Mortal Kombat was the best on the Sega Genesis because you could put in the blood code and put it right in. Boom. Good. This one I actually never played. I know that's kind of weird, but it was like $2, $3 on Amazon or on eBay, and I purchased it. Echo and the Tides of Time. I heard the Echo games were actually really cool, and I still have yet to actually pop this into my Sega. It's very clean, looks like it's going to work, so I don't know. But to me, a Dolphin, I've heard it's good. I've got to try it. This one was just a purchase, $2, $3. It was in box. Combat cards that reminded me of Rock and Roll Racing. Complete in box as well, so I was like, why not? Yeah. There's my story behind that one. Sonic 2, Who doesn't have this? And this is the not for resale version. So, I mean, this one is like the most common on Sega Genesis ever. So, I've got 2 more titles. And I'm going to go by the amount of favoritism on it here. So, first one's going to be The Punisher. I have shown this in previous videos, and I had it for trade, but I've got Scuba that's real interested in getting it. Now, this game is roughly $100. Yeah, you heard me right, $100. And the reason is because it's rare you're going to find a complete in-box copy. I looked on eBay the other day and found this alone for $35 on there. It's like, what? Other than that, this I saw for $45. So the box with a good insert and the book, $100. I got that, I think, for about $20 a few years ago, and I'm very happy I only spent $20 on it. So, and then my favorite Sega Genesis game of all time, and we're at 15 minutes. Jeez, I have a lot of games. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Shadowrun on the Sega Genesis. The Super Nintendo, it doesn't hold a candle to it. Unfortunately, it's not complete in box. If you've got a book for it, let me know. I'd love to do a trade for it. This game is not going anywhere. This game I saw on eBay for super cheap one day, and I was like, I have to have it. If you've ever played the pen and paper, at least it tries to hold true to the pen and paper, unlike the shitty Xbox 360 version, which was first-person shooter. This game, you could hack into computer systems, you would have to run different missions. You're trying to find out who killed your brother, and in the meantime, like I said, hacking into computers, doing espionage on different companies, breaking into their companies, and having to, get security systems shut down, and just, I don't know, there's just so much to this game. I still love it to this day. It beats a lot of modern games today. So, anyway, those are my games. That's a lot of damn games. Thankfully, the Super Nintendo video that I'm going to do is way shorter than this because I only have like 13 to 15 titles. So thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with me for over 17 minutes. I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching my first request video. Until the next video, talk to you all then. Cheers.